isn't going to slow him down. He's not going to get complacent. But during the interview, John Florence lit this one up, Pete.
He sure did. Going to be the best wave of the heat. 2 strong maneuvers and a third. But that first one of the best first maneuvers we've seen all day long. You know, and I think that what a lot came down to was the inspiration that Hiroto and Italo have put up big numbers already. But look at that connection with the lip. That's the style of surfing we've been accustomed to from John this season. It really hasn't been that innovation and progression style that we've seen. It's been those big rail arcs. That's what his equipment change has done. That wide point's pushed forward. It's allowed him to really lay into those maneuvers. Overall, like, just his performances have been one of the same competitors that have been, you know, putting on impressive performances. I mean, the only one I can look back on is we see Jordy up and riding.
Just punches the lip on that first section. Now carving. There's that tail release we were talking about earlier on. Mixing things up. And again, just swinging that tail around. A clean combination. A steady pace. Great flow throughout that ride.
Bunny Chow EPS. That's what it looks like. I mean, you can see the white factored into the score. Whereas Jordy, again, look at how strong he is. Beautiful arcing snap, and then this one where he gets the release out of it. That's the type of maneuver where you saw a little bit of innovation, but 3 beautiful, solid arcing maneuvers and a 4th again. Board looks spot on. He's been
8.5 minutes to go. Filipe, he's chasing a 7.9. He's got some speed. He's going to take to the air. Nice big grab roll there. And then out onto the open face and just slides out, mixing it up with each and every move so far. This is on its way to being a very solid number. More opportunities to collect points down the line.
Wow.
He's still going.
Wow.
What kind of finish can he get on the inside here?
Score the 7, and this is his second. And you would think that needing a 7.9, that this is probably going to get there. The big forehand air, frontside grab, and then straight into an arc. So beautiful, 2 different styles of maneuvers. The air to a big wrapping carve, and then still holding his speed all the way through this inside section, and he just kept at it. But I mean, already the meat of the score has been done with those 2 maneuvers on the outside, the big frontside air. But cleaning it up all the way onto the rocks is always nice too.
We've seen the replay of that big air, getting that tail up, tweaking it out. The score is in, and it is solid, well rewarded. So much variety on this wave, Pete.
Oh, and just to have the combo of this style of surfing, which is a very mean arc, just lays in as much rail as possible.
Instead of trying to launch a fins free reverse or going for an air on the end section.
Here, overhead wave. We had forecast to have bigger surf on tap, but those 2 turns were solid, you know, and I love how he got extended out of the lip. This one here, this is the turn where you zap, you know, again, that extra little flare sparks. And then the finish move that you mentioned, the big arc there. You heard the crowd give the oohs and ahs.
For absolutely blitzing that performance in the last matchup. This one continues quickly. Frederico Morais up for a big jam to kick this one off. Hard off the bottom, there's a full wrap off the top. The rookie from Portugal wets the rail in the open face again. It still looks solid through the inside corner.
Looks absolutely amazing, Joe. I think just that smooth, clean, mistake-free surfing that Frederico has produced this year. Look at that big solid turn there from him. There's not too much messing around with his surfing, just waits for the section to approach and then unleashes some massive turns. So a well-read wave, you know. And you heard Jordy Smith talk earlier about over-surfing a wave. It's so easy to do out here. Frederico just taking his time and then reacting as those situations arise.
He's in a good position though. 7.33, he can kind of afford to be selective. If he gets the 2 best waves, it's going to be hard to stop. Here he goes, big section standing up in front. Big wrapping turn to get started again. Drawing hard on the rail. Major moves. As he looks for the big finish down the line now. Gaining some speed. And again, just swings his board. He means business every time he makes that approach to the top of the wave.
Excellent, excellent wave choice. And then to pick that one, which was a gem. I mean, this one swung off the reef, but it had a tail to it, so it was going to stay open the whole way. And big boy laid in some solid turns. And this wave just kept giving him opportunity. He didn't have to pump down the line. There was great pace on it. It's going to be the best wave of the heat by a long shot. And you can see this going high 8, maybe even 9. And that turn there, he really laid into it. Look at this just karate kick to the chops. Beautiful arc there. Again, spray flying out the back, carries the speed. Second maneuver straight into a nice bottom turn, top turn. Looks at where he hit the crease there. Right where the white water and the clean water in the face. That's the critical section. That's what you need to be doing it.
A little bit more radical, a little bit more powerful. And the judges are rewarding that, Joe.
That's right. What a great effort there. Lakey up again on the back end now. Already coming off a big turn. Great jam off the top. It's got a nice lip line. She coils up again now for a fourth and a finish.
Wow.
Lakey's fired up. Kicking out with authority.
What round are we in?
Oh my goodness.
Round 2, and this is the action we're watching.
She's surfing like it's a final. I love it.
I love it. Well, it actually will. 5.4. And then watch this wave from Lakey Peterson. Nice opening turn. She comes around the section, jams it in the pocket. This wave just kept offering, bang, beautiful tight snap, and then finishing strong with a vertical turn. She says, come on. And look at the score, Joe. Are you kidding me? Lakey's last 2 rides, her keepers.
A 7.6 before, and the left a 9.0.
Wow.
Throwing away the 7 that she opened up with.
Drops the highest score of this heat so far, an 8.33. Steph is going to answer with another 7 though. So Silvana's going to be chasing something. She kicks the tail free. There's that approach that we know Silvana possesses. We're just not seeing it enough. And as a result, she hasn't been that consistent, but this is another solid wave for Silvana. This might be better than the 8.33.
Significantly better. I feel like that's a 9. That's going right up there. I mean, this is the best we've seen Silvana Lima all season.
We're waiting on another score to drop for Stephanie. She will get back into the lead, but this wave for Silvana should see her into first place.
Progression right here, drifting the fins up above the lip, carries the speed nicely right there too. Projects again. This board looks spot on. A little magic tool for Silvana. And that little 2-turn combo at the end.
A big aerial for us, but here we go. Sebastian now trying to get rid of that 6.17 and push Italo back into combination. Drives hard into this first section. Gets some good projection to find the open face once again. Staying close to the pocket though. With 3 big hits already. He's on his way to a solid score. He needs to tidy up the finish. And he will. Wow. Pushing hard, releasing the tail. Still eyeing off more down the line. And that is very tight.
You know, Ichlo picks up a pretty good score, puts himself within reach with 1 wave. Always deadly. Ichlo can get into that excellent range, no worries, with just 1 move. And this was a beautiful wave for Sebastian. He moves off the peak. This one with that westerly direction, moving into the bay. And it gave him some great opportunity. Nice size set wave. Good healthy mix and tail slides. And then here gets out in the open face and those arcs. So some variety there. And just so comfortable. Didn't look like he's going to make a mistake the entire ride.
Felt like the best wave of the heat, didn't it?
Oh, for sure.
The thing about Sebastian too, on the outside, even though he was chasing down those first couple of sections, he didn't lose any speed. He had a lot of momentum through these first 3 hits.
And that was important. That maneuver there, you know, you can easily just float it just to make sure that you're going to get down the line, but he wanted to make it an actual clean maneuver, and he does that by tagging it. But at the same time, when he tags it, he's drifting across, so it never got any hang up at all. Kept the speed, and then it just allowed him to have that perfect pace for the rest of this ride. And look at the score.
Yeah, the inside slice too was potent. A 9.43. They get in a bit of a paddle battle, but then surrendered and let his rivals take the first wave, and he was the benefactor. It looks like it might work out the same for him here. Drives off the bottom into this first section. Explosive off the top. So connected to his equipment at the moment as he grinds through a big arc on the inside. And this poor wave is just getting torn apart in the opening stages. That was spotless, that ride.
As clean as it gets, huh? It's a bummer. And then when you have to look at this, this is just pure aggression. And he's doing it just like slow and precise. I mean, it
appears slow.
Yeah,
the
but
pace.
it's not.
But it's just that style and rhythm that Jordy has that makes it look that way. Every single one of those moves in transition has a lot of speed.
I mean, just look at the technique that he has. That little tail chuck that comes out of it.
He's already shown he can get those bigger results on the backhand. He's doing well in 2017, but the big wins generally come on the forehand. He's up once again, trying to back up that 947. Beautiful looking wall stretching out. And he hits us with a monster carve to get started, driving up into the lip now. Drifts his board with so much control that sometimes you even miss it, that release in the tail. Setting up for a big finish on the inside now. Something different, a little layback, slides that tail out, solid as you like. And, I mean, it's going to be a really solid backup. It's got to be better than Evans 5.5.
I think here we're going to see a huge heat total. I mean, good size set wave, nice explosive first turn, ton of spray, straight back to the bottom. And once again, I mean, and this technique that he has, great wave choice. I mean, we talked about how the fact that you got to have good wave choice today, and he's just been patient.
Reigns outside number 1 since Jordy's wearing the Jeep yellow jersey, but he's right behind him on the Jeep leaderboard. Already ramping up, full rotation on the backhand of John Florence. Already out in front, laying down some beautiful backhand turns. Straight up vertical for a solid, exciting finish. A guy that loves to spend a lot of time ramping up in the skate park over there on the North Shore of Oahu, where he was raised, keeping that skate influence style.
What a performance from Jordy Smith. Oh my goodness. I think definitely the best of today. John Florence not to be outdone. Beautiful backside rotation. Straight into a series of backside maneuvers. I love the style of John. Nice quiet hands, quiet arms, quiet upper body until he flares out, and then it all comes to play. What a way to start, Joe. I think Jordy got John fired up.
He's a smart kid. He doesn't need that much help. He knows what to do. He knows when he's going to pull the trigger, and he's pulling the trigger right now.
John Florence winding up. Front side flow beats the section. Big full rotation into the flats.
I think it might even better than 927.
I'm thinking it's got to be. Let's take another look, Potts. What do you think?
Well, it was a short wave, and it was a quick one, too. Had a lot of wall on it. So right there, building the speed. But look at the transition between those two turns. Are you kidding me? Cat-like balance. As he comes into it, you can see him setting it up. Uses that lip to project. Grabs it just for a second. Landing backward. That's all feel right there, Joe. He doesn't even have his eyes on the landing. He's done that about 1,000 times before. Look at the foot right on the nose of the board. I mean, that was unbelievable footwork, unbelievable balance. Just he knew exactly how far the body needed to rotate to land those fins perfectly, to spin back around. And, well, that's why he's a world champion.
Did you?
From, I heard Tommy Witt say, it's not rocket science.
There we go, trying to simplify the formula as we check out the first turn from Bede Durbidge. Classic arc with a lot of power and flow down the line, just speeding through his hacks. Another aggressive finish.
Can we try and talk about retiring? Because he's surfing as good as I've ever seen him.
Remember Bede was in that heat with Freddie P when he did the mic drop, got a 10 and got out of there? Something about retiring on your own terms. Maybe Bede was thinking about that as well, but he is absolutely tearing this apart.
Yeah, look at that turn right there. I mean, that bionic hip that he's got is working well for him. And just finishes nicely. 3 massive turns. 8.43 is what he needs to better if he wants to increase his score.
It looks sharp, and that was a pretty tough draw. Ethan Ewing can be dangerous, especially when really he's at the point in the season where he's got to get a big result. But during that interview, Adriano
best wave of the heat
lit one up.
He did, and it's a set wave that just kept giving him beautiful sections. And that top to bottom style of surfing that we've been accustomed to watching from Adriano. And I think that this is a performance that he needed to kind of put up in this round to start establishing himself as someone to take the win here. There's been such great performances by the front runners, John and Jordy, even Seabass in this heat. that, you know, he's been sitting there kind of underneath the radar, but now knowing full well that early momentum in this heat has put him in good position. And look at the score that's just posted for him.
So, Professor Pete, does a receding tide really slow down the lineup? Or is that just a
urban legend?
Mythbuster?
Mythbuster, you know what? It's probably a little bit of that, but I mean, no, it does. It definitely has an effect. You have a tide moving out as you watch this replay here of Steph Gilmore, who just unleashed on that section there. And of course, perfect example of trying to do almost too much.
And Gilmore gets another opportunity now to get rid of a 7, and she's starting to feel the confidence. Beautiful placement of that first maneuver. Second turn was okay, but the third again goes to that big carve and really draws it out. And a solid finish. And Steph has done a great job of finishing all her rides off in this heat. And that's kind of been the most common error we've seen from her this year, falling at the end of rides. Even when she's collecting big scores, she's still taking some falls.
You know, and it all started with her getting that first wave of the heat, put her out, and you know, and the kick out, you know, of the 2.67. It was, we watched the replay here of that first maneuver, so important, and that was gorgeous. Best turn of the wave. Right there, almost sticks the nose, but then it backs it up with another nice carve. 3 solid turns on the outside. And you would have to say this one feels right there with that 9.17, maybe even a little better.
And he is going to get a nice backup for that 7.17. Ace Buchan, first wave of the set, first turn, beautiful. Second turn, sliding tail out, showing some variety. Third turn, nice and clean again, so just milking this one all the way through. Ace Buchan, renowned as one of the best backhand surfers on tour, and renowned for loving those claims as well. So a good, solid wave for Ace Buchan. He always seems to get that board in the right position at the right time. Beautiful bottom turn, and the body language, amazing from Ace Buchan. And scores slowly trickling through, and it's looking dangerous for Jadson once this next score gets locked in.
What an exchange. Ace Buchan controlling the set, getting on that first wave. He opened up with the left to kick off the heat at a 5.5. The more important numbers heading into the screen here in round 5, heat number 1, with the last 2 goofy foots left in the draw.
John lays into those moves. He does it with such potency and meaning.
Another opportunity.
Really buries his board. And we're expecting a solid number for his last ride, and he's loading up for something big here. He'll go to the air, an easy reverse. Well, it appeared that way. He then threw down a nice carve, bashes through the lip,
wow,
and really lets go on that last section.
9.5.
Just checking the clock, 45 seconds to go.
Might even see a 10 thrown there. Just good man.
That was my favourite wave for sure, and almost building. The 8.83 for John sort of seemed a little safe for me, but he's since gotten back to letting go of some of those really raw layback turns. And have a look at this. This is easily the best wave of the heat.
Oh, I love it. When you can see it kind of unfolding just moments before, right? You can see him stalling it out, timing that first section, and then the execution, no worries. Full whip. Just disaster slides backwards off of that one. Beautiful stuff. Straight into another maneuver.
He's done such a good job of just really responding well when Jordy puts in a good performance in the top half of the draw. Every time Jordy drops good numbers, John seems to outsurf him the next time he paddles out. He did improve his position, and Julian is looking for an 8.37, but here's what happened on that last one. Whoa.
Oh, he matched it right out of the gates and actually got a better second turn and a better third. I mean, this is feels like this is the best wave of the heat. I mean, look at that wave. That thing just kept bending at him. You know, even with the fall at the end.
Day long. Lakey on the flip side of the coin, first wave of the set. Beautiful tight snap. Now she got speed up and over that section. Watch this turn here from Lakey. He's got to be tight in the pocket and just hooking right into it. And gets that little bonus up and over the top. So that's another beautiful score for Lakey. But I think that last maneuver on the wave for Carissa might give her a little bit of an edge. But look at that turn. Beautiful positioning, using that left hand in the wave there just to pivot the body. She didn't bring it all the way around because she saw a little bonus section at the end that she managed to fit the board up and over the section. So amazing transition between maneuvers right there from Lakey Peterson.
Unbelievable exchange here in the second quarterfinal.
By the way, this turn from Carissa here to finish this wave off was nothing short of amazing. Beautiful turn to kick it off. Nice through the lip. Now she starts to build up that speed, and right here just hooking into it. I mean, that's the most.
Kelly Slater, black and white.
Welcome to finals day.
Coming up probably first thing in the morning. 12:30 on the clock. There's that big twist and wrap hook from Lakey Peterson, digging in again for that coil up on the open face. There's the third version of it. Perfect flow, and she's got the lip to hit, and she smashes it.
Oh my gosh.
What score?
It's going to better the A5. It's another 9, Joe. Let's have a look at it. First turn, beautiful. Just that wrapping maneuver. Comes out of it with so much speed. And again, just there are no glitches. Complete confidence. And she is flying and then finishes strong. So that is a series of 4 solid maneuvers.
Go too far now, and you're thinking in the head. You're kind of in two minds. And then now you look out the back and you see Keely up and riding again.
And Keely's going to be feeling really sharp on this one. She'll want to get that finish, and she is really linking these rides together beautifully. Putting her board right into the pocket, not getting out in front of it. I love that approach from Keely. Just a little wobbly through that inside, but still she finished this one off.
That's another great ride. I mean, that's exactly what she wanted to see happen. She's going to be in a very commanding position. She surfed this wave well.
She's managed to pick off a couple of waves too, Pete, that just suit her approach so nicely.
That's exactly right. I mean, look at this, that hook snap that she has. She knows how to place it very nicely. Little, jab to the lip, which is nice because it has that kind of explosion of spray. That's the turn that we saw her use to success at Honolulu.
Out the back, Keely. She doesn't need to go this wave.
That's just funny because...
But why not?
Exactly. Pretty tough to let it go.
Nice slice there. Beautiful conditions. And Keely really freed up there.
That was pretty sick. Nice big round deep bottom turn too. And you love when you commit to that bottom turn and the section stays there for you and you just unload on it.
It's just so good seeing someone compete at their full potential. Love
again,
finish.
wave number 2, so look how clean the face is on wave number 2, and this one bending at her, so it's just all the extra energy is folding at her, and that turn there, that one felt good.
She's going to up the ante here, Pete.
Yes, she is. Yeah, it's going to better the 817, that is for sure. So she's going to have her highest heat total ever on the championship tour.
Jordy's got to answer now. Big flow from the South African. Front side wrap into a finish. And a very important finishing move. He'll ride out. We are lighting up the screens now with scores. Toledo building on a 5-2-3. I loved it.
Jordy Smith, this is his opening wave. Connects with the lip beautifully. Bangs it up through the lip again. This turn here is where all the points are going to come from. That's better from Smith, and then finishes with that combo. The first 2 turns, I thought maybe Jordy's a little bit of a safety sort of maneuver where he kind of jammed it into the lip. Maybe should have hooked it and just blasted that lip to pieces.
But look out, Gabriel Medina's on the wave behind. Filipe is going to get a front row seat to the Medina show. He's got speed, got the section, gets the ramp.
Are you kidding me?
What?
No problem.
It's going.
That was
Wow.
just
Insane. Here we go, just a dream run on this wave.
Talk about being so excited and then just turning around and going, no, come on, give me a minute. Give me 30 seconds of glory here.
Oh,
kidding me?
I like the way he tweaks it out too. I mean, just loft. Functional, speed. I mean, he lands it with speed. That's the thing, is that all of these linking maneuvers were so powerful for Alan. Looking at the section.
It was huge. It was even bigger. You watch the replay and you really see the hang time.
She's got that confidence. Riss is hard to beat when she's got confidence. Oh, my.
Front side cork complete from Gabriel Medina. Also can call it the Flintstone flip as he snaps it and shuts it down. We saw it in the lay days, and he brings it to competition just for the second time in surfing history.
And a perfectly executed wave. But look at this. Boom. How's that rotation? Comes out. Just, he kind of drifted on the nose with that weight up front. And then, look, watch, he almost sticks the nose in right there. He knew it, and then he goes, I'm just going to click this thing and finish it, and I'm going to win a world title probably.
Well, we haven't had many of these, but for me, that's the best one that's ever been completed by Miles.
It was sort of almost off axis. The one he did in Brazil years ago was wild too. No one knew
because the wave was tiny.
It was so bad. But, you know, we saw him do the rodeo flip in Mexico on a very dud wave to get over Michelle.
Gorkin,
he knows how to be clutch in those very clutch situations. And, you know, he's got a world title on the line.
Not as many bobbles when we got to see those two exchanges on the replay.
And that's part of the speed, power, and flow element.
Ethan here, wave number 3. That's the power part, Pete. Check this out.
Oh,
that's the flow there of Ethan Ewing. And one more time, speed, power, flow. You talked about it, Pete.
Yeah.
You just showed it to us.
Again, I mean, he's just an extra. I hate that adjective, but it is. It's exactly what it is.
Wow, you're watching the most efficient surfer on the tour at the moment in terms of body movement, board positioning. That was just an incredible second turn, wrapped it all the way around, and like you said, Pete, he actually accelerated through it. He hit the gas, put on the turbo boosters, and just jams it in there. You can see the back arm, he pivots around it, and just gaffs the entire wave to pieces. And look at the upper body efficiency here. Keeps it nice and quiet. Now he gets the extension here. This back arm wraps it all the way through. And that it's almost like he's leaning on the accelerator as that back arm comes around. He compresses and sets his eyes on that next section there. Keeps that snowboarding element going where he keeps those arms out in front of him, and then just crazy layback hack on that final turn. Completely disengages all the fins, wraps it straight back under him, out clean.
Set coming through, it's Caroline Marks rolling in. The goofy foot, big bottom turn, nice clean carve. Whips it right off the bottom again, throwing some water off that rail. Winds up vertical and crushes it. Now anticipating a finish, backhand snap float, she stomps it. And there's everybody cheering on Caroline, representing Florida, but she's been adopted as part of the locals here.
Yeah, just so impressive. If I'm hypercritical, she could have gone a little bit more vertical on that first crack. Second one, same thing. It kind of just pushed her down the line. But here's where the wave gets interesting and super fun to watch as she stabs it vertically off the top and then gets that kind of float off the last section. That's going in her top 2. That was an amazing wave and one of the best of the heat so far.
Yeah, she had a lot of space on this ride here to really open up. And one of the difficult things to do on your backhand is bring some variety, and that's what Caroline did on this one. Each turn was a little bit different. This third one in particular, it was done in a really critical moment on the wave. Watch how steep it is here. Beautiful technique, gets nice and vertical, almost snaps under the lip there. Spray just flying to the heavens. And Caroline just really finishing it off strong here. You can see her just sitting on that bottom turn, throws it up again onto the lip, drifts down under that turbulent whitewash, and what a score.
She was almost smiling through that last hack on the inside. Caroline knows what a big score feels like.
Filipe Toledo, wave number 2 in this title match. Razor sharp on the first carve. Don't pump off the bottom, throws it out there, stomps it into the flats, stands up. Right on the back reel. Quickly, Rich, talk us through this replay.
Wow, this first opening carve to, it's just sizzling, you know. He's just turbo boost through that and then just throws the giant air reverse, full rotation. And whenever you see Filipe stand tall like that, you know he's absolutely stoked in it. But this opening carve, look at the extension of the upper body, gets the wings right out. The upper body just leading the lower body, gets centered again, pumping down the line, hits the lip absolutely perfectly, already starting the rotation as he launches. And it was just about a 360-degree rotation. It was probably about 340. But incredible maneuvers.
Yeah, and standing proud for the finish, Filipe Toledo.
Everyone, just get ready. Caroline's up and running.
And the train hoots for Caroline Marks as she takes off. There's the real hooter, and she is hanging it up there on the backhand numerous times. Talk about an answer back. Talk about an exchange. Talk about some snappy backhand surfing. Caroline, relentless down the line. And that was an answer back just when she got put in the corner. Caroline Marks.
Are you kidding me?
8 seconds remaining to catch that wave.
That was amazing. So she's surfing for a 6.83. Caroline knows I've got to go really big, and she does, right? Just straight up into the lip again. I feel like this is better surfing than what we've seen from Caroline on her previous wave. I feel like this score has to go bigger. And she maintained that intensity throughout this whole entire wave. She wasn't done yet. I mean, there was a lot of work done on the inside here. So waiting for these scores to drop, and wow, such exciting times.
Wow.
There's the support for Caroline, but now it's Caitlin's turn. Simmers on a fun, lowers right, punches the pocket quickly out in front for the wrapping turn. Now with some speed, she'll coast and lay that rail down and drill the rebound section. Big whip in the pocket, looking nice and loose. Slides out the fins on the wrap and does it again. Pops out the fins on demand. You're looking at one of the most freest surfers in the world, just expressing herself on her opening ride against Caroline Marks.
Let's have a look here. What did you think, Rosie?
I love this wave. This opening maneuver, you can tell that she just wants to get vicious with it, just absolutely dismantles that lip. And like we saw earlier, she wants to stay tight in that pocket. She does that first turn and then really gears up towards that section. Okay, one of the best roundhouse cutbacks I've seen all season.
Yeah.
I mean, no two-stager right there, and that's just all technique, setting up for that fin throw. Man, I mean, are we variety, flow, power, speed? Definitely not burning off any speed to anticipate a section. Like, she's going at it as fast and as hard as she can.
So creative in this approach. I love how she has stretched it out. A little bit of old school tribute right here.
Oh, look, the figure eight, the roundhouse cutty, that was like a second move in its own. I mean, you know, your average surfer's going surfing, you do a backhand re-entry like that, you're stoked. I mean, this was a roundhouse cutback.
Weren't we comparing her to Karen earlier? Like, just that style and composure and technique, and then straight into that maneuver.
9.17 for Caitlin Simmers. Big separation over Caroline's 6.17. Well deserved. So much variety, so much flow. Spontaneity at 18. Ruling the world right now. Katie on the answer. Speed move off the top. She is flying into that section on the open face. Belted in the pocket again. Throws a nice little wrapping cutback. Now the wall is opening up and just chips the finish. It goes down.
Wow. Did Katie just drop back-to-back excellent scores?
As we go to the IC replay.
Look at her. She's fired up. You can see the energy. The feeling is there. Sets up this first turn. Plus beautiful, seamless, float-like transition there. Carves into that second one. And then just, she's weightless, right? It looks effortless. It's beautiful surfing. And, I mean, yeah, let's talk about those feelings. They're good ones. They're really good feelings, Joe.
To me, the degree of difficulty comes in where you're not burning speed to attack a section. She's just going at it like full throttle. Every maneuver's different. Yeah, I'm like...
We love you too, Katie, as we watch a big blast there. Throwing the fins out. John Florence with his signature move. Driving into another big hack there. And now laying it down to shut it down. There's a lot of emotion coming out of the big man. Take another look at John's explosive start.
Streaking down the line here, pressure on the front foot, jams that backhand into the wall, and that is that trademark layback hack that we've seen John Florence lean into so often, and it's a turn that he's got so many variations of. Does some great work down the line here. Here's that sort of swivel effect that he gets off the lip and flexing. You don't see John Florence do that too often, so you know that he's stoked with the result of this wave.
Great angle from the water here, Jesse.
I mean, what a great way to start a heat, and actually to answer from Italos, and great first turn. That was massive. He pushed as hard as he could on that first wave, finished it off strong as we can see right here on the screen, and it's going to get rewarded.
Oh, look at that. That is just, wow. They went super excited about this one. One judge even giving it a 10, a 9.70.